As always, we start with the four great bodhisattva vows. Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to help them all. Delusions are countless. We vow to see through them all. Opportunities to awaken are infinite. We vow to embrace them all. The Buddha way is endless. We vow to embody it. And we will start with 15 minutes of seated meditation. We'll recite the Gatha on opening the sutras. This Dharma, incomparably profound and minutely subtle, is rarely encountered, even in hundreds of thousands of millions of ages. Now we see it, hear it, hold and maintain it. May we completely realize the true mind of all Buddhas. Hello. I'm glad you're here. So I have some questions. Many more questions than I have answers, if I have any answers at all. So you, the Buddha, and 3 pounds of flax, same or different? Where does the sky stop and my breath begin? Where do the clouds stop and the particulate matter from wildfires begin? Where does the river stop and the lake begin? There's an answer to all of them, and I'm not going to give it to you because that's not how Kongans work. Sorry to disappoint. One of the things that we practice in our Korean devised lineage is we are conscious of the fact that in Korean Son, the Hwaom or Hwayan or Flower Garden or Avatamsaka Sutra plays a pretty major role. And if you're not familiar with that sutra of 4 names, it's about 1,600 pages long in the Cleary translation. It enumerates every bodhisattva possible and then some. So the idea is behind it of the interconnectedness of all dharmas, the unobstructed, unhindered interconnectedness of all dharmas, of all things, of all phenomena. Minui's talk from a couple of weeks ago made me get started on this path. So in Korean Son, we have this influence of Hwaom, right, from the Hwayan Sutra. And we're very conscious of this interplay. The 10,000 return to the one. Where does the one return? There are a number of patriarchs in the Hwayan sect, a couple of whom are big favorites of mine. So if you wanted to check out, especially Fatsang, there is a YouTube video that is under FA-TSANG as opposed to FAZANG like it would be today. But the Fatsang video is great. I recommend it highly. I'm not even getting royalties for this. And there are a couple of books on Hwayan Process Metaphysics and Huayan Practice is the title of one of them, I think. There's another one that's a little bit more manageable and bite-sized than that, that I think Cleary was also the translator of. I'm not sure. But this pervasive identity of the relative and the absolute comes into play. And we can go down a purely theoretical, purely intellectual, purely philosophical road with this easily enough. And it's fun in a way, because it's like playing a mental game of chess with yourself. But in more practical terms, if I look here, I see my laptop and I see all of you on it. Hello. If I go outside, I'm going to see the house. I'm going to go up higher. I'm going to see Florence, and then I'll see Northampton, and then I'll see, land masses. And then after that, land masses and water. And then I go higher still and I see a planet, and go higher still and I see a solar system and a galaxy, and so on and so forth. And each one of those elements contains all the others. If one thing among them is different at this moment, the entire universe is different. Which really only makes sense, because if something is different, then it's not the same aspect of the universe as it had been just now. So, and given impermanence and changing, it's never the same universe from moment to moment to moment. So if I look at you and I think, that person is very different from me. I don't like them. They look funny. They smell funny. They sound funny. I don't like them. So I will go away from them. From that view at 30,000 feet, those differences are not apparent. There was Xi Dao, I think, wrote a poem that's along the lines of the Xinjiang Ming by Seng San. I'm giving you all these literary references for you to check out. Xi Dao's thing was called Branching Streams Flow in the Darkness. I am one branching stream. You are a branching stream. We don't know where we're going. We don't know actually where we intersect, because we're in the proverbial darkness. We're all tributaries, but it's one body of water. When the rivers flow down, where do they stop and the lake begin? What molecule of water is it that separates the two of them so that it's like river, lake, purely separate? Doesn't happen, right? For us to assume in our prevalent sense of selfiness that I'm not a tributary and you're not a tributary. I am a standalone. I am in a bubble. There's me and there's the rest of the universe, and I am totally separate from it. And it's just ludicrous. If you think of it in those terms, it's not the universe plus one. It's not me in my little bubble surrounded by everything else, but totally separate from it. Everything causes everything else and is caused by everything else. If I make coffee in the morning and the steam comes up, and that steam moves off into the atmosphere, and that steam moves off into the atmosphere and it mingles in with other clouds, other vapors that become clouds. And then it mingles in with some particulate matter from wildfires these days. And that particulate matter causes rain to fall, which goes back into the earth, and it goes into rivers, and it goes into the ocean, so on and so forth. And then it once again ends up in my morning coffee. Is it the same water? Is it different water? Where does one water stop and the other one begin? Where do you stop and where do I begin? You think you can answer that? You think you can answer that correctly? I don't know. So, in this Dharma Dhatu, this Vairocana Buddha totality of everything, not excluding favorable and unfavorable, good, bad, pleasant, unpleasant. It's all intermingled. Samsara is nirvana, because all these dualist divisions that we try to impose upon things are just distracting us from seeing the true nature of reality. So a monk asked Tozan, what is Buddha? Tozan at the time was weighing flax. And he answered, 3 pounds of flax. Now you could think that's just some pithy little Zen kind of response, like, hey, I'm looking at some paper here and, you know, what is Buddha? Oh, the Buddha is a laptop. From the perspective of the interconnectedness of all dharmas, the Buddha is the 3 pounds of flax. The 3 pounds of flax includes the Buddha. The Buddha includes the 3 pounds of flax. In this totality, there is no differentiation. For convenience sake, yeah, I'll get up in the morning in my bed and I'll do my work and you'll do the same on your end. But you know what? That's petty. It's unimportant. When the Bodhisattva vows to help all beings, not only does all include oneself, the one making the vow, but it includes all beings. Not ones we like, not the ones we don't think smell funny. Everybody, all sentient beings, we vow to help them all. There is no separation. Okay, we will go back and have another 15 minutes of seated meditation. We chant the Heart Sutra. Mahaprajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva when practicing deeply the Prajna Paramita perceives that all five skandhas and is centering all drifting and distress. Shariputra form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. That which is form is emptiness. That which is emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They do not appear or disappear, are not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Therefore, in emptiness, no form, no feeling, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no color, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of eyes, and so forth until no realm of mind consciousness, no ignorance, and also no extinction of it, and so forth until no old age and death, and also no extinction of it, no suffering, no origination, no stopping, no path, no cognition, also no attainment with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva depends on Prajna Paramita, and the mind is no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Far apart from every perverted view, one dwells in nirvana. In the three worlds, all Buddhas depend on Prajna Paramita and attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore know that Prajna Paramita is the great transcendent mantra, is the great right mantra, is the utmost mantra, is the supreme mantra, which is able to relieve all suffering and is true, not false. So proclaim the Prajna Paramita mantra. Proclaim the mantra which says Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Excuse me. So we'll do our personal dedications of merit. I have a couple of names to mention, and then we'll open it up so that you can mention anyone you'd like to also. All sentient beings are one seamless body and pass quickly from birth to death. We remember those who cared for us and are gone, those who are ill, those who are at war, who are hungry, and who are in pain. May they heal and have peace. We especially dedicate our service to Mrs. Guy, Laura Haas Knox, Perry, Mike Gingy Wood. Anyone would like to add anyone to that?
Elaine Sue.
Anyone else?
Daphne and family.
Other?
Lee Lavelle and Allison Evans.
All beings in 10 directions subject to the greed, hatred, and delusions of themselves and others. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all honored ones, Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, wisdom beyond wisdom, Maha Prajna Paramita. We'll do our faith and practice vow. I will never retreat and will be firm in my mind in this correct Dharma. I will escape from the samsaric cycle of birth and death and definitely will see my original face. I will be sure to inherit the life of insight of the Buddha and save all sentient beings. Engdahl.
Infinite realms of light and dark convey the Buddha mind. Birds and trees and stars and we ourselves come forth in perfect harmony. We practice and recite this for all beings, in grateful thanks to our many guides along the way.
Life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes swiftly by and opportunities to awaken are easily lost. Strive to realize your true nature. Do not squander your time by night or day. And I'll extinguish some candles.